So part 3. So like I said, I gave him $2,000 up front. He gave me the keys, he gave me the car. We had a promissory agreement that I would pay him $500 in 3 installments, which basically was 6 weeks because I got paid every 2 weeks. So I made the first payment 2 weeks after, I took possession. And then a little bit, probably a week after that, right before it was time to make that next payment, I remember calling him, or I think I called him. Texting, well, I don't think we was texting like that back then. Mind you, this was back in 2004 or 5, somewhere around there. So, but I had hit him up, and I let him know because the registration on the sticker was about to expire, the inspection, all that. So I had let him know. I said, hey, when I make this next payment, you think I can go ahead and get the title so I can go ahead and, put the vehicle in my name, go ahead and get it registered, inspected, and all that good jazz. So he was like, yeah, cool, I'll bring the title when we meet next time. So I was like, all right, cool, everything going the way it's supposed to go. I'm driving the car to work every day, have no issues with the vehicle. My uncle did have to adjust the carburetor on it because it had a stock 305 on it. So he did a little adjustment to the carburetor because I was smelling fuel. The only other issue I had, one day I was leaving work for lunch and it overheated because they had put electric fans on it, and the wire that they ran from the fuse panel to the actual fan the gauge was too small. I don't know if the fuse was too big or whatever it was, but it blew a fuse and burnt the wire. So I was able to fix that, no big deal. So when I met him for that second payment, that's when everything kind of went downhill, because we got to the spot where we met. I had the cash, and that's also a mistake. I was paying them cash instead of, money order, cashier's check, or even a personal check, whatever. I ain't do none of that. Straight green papers. So when I got there, I had the money. I counted it, made sure it was 500, and I was like, I asked him, I said, did you bring the title? He's, oh yeah, let me get it. So he's in the car looking for the title, and I'm sitting there waiting with the money in my hand, and I'm just sitting here, and you know how when you see people, when they lie, they start procrastinating on, oh man, I thought it was over here, it was in a glove box, oh, it ain't under the seat. Then he was like, man, wife must have put it in the other vehicle. You see this? I knew. I was like, okay, look, I'm 41 now. My birthday was yesterday. I was 24 at the time. You think 24 is an age where you should know better? And you probably should, but I didn't. And clearly he was way older than me, so he was running game. So bottom line is, he didn't bring the title, or whether he brought it or not, he didn't display it. I didn't get possession of the title. And I was like, oh man, don't worry about it. Saying I'll just get it from you next time. 2 more weeks, we'll be done with the deal. No harm, no foul. That was my mindset. And he was like, all right, cool, whatever. So I gave him the money. We went our separate ways. So 2 weeks, I get paid again. It was supposed to be their last payment. So he showed up in my apartment. Now, I think he lived in Fort Worth. I don't know where, because we never met at each other's crib. We always met at a public spot. But about a week and a half later, so literally, well, not a week later, because it was a week before I was getting paid, he showed up at my house. Well, I didn't know at first because he called me. Did he call? No, I think he texted me. He said, hey, I need the car. No, he said, I need the rest of that money, or I'm gonna need the car back. So when I saw the text, I just called him. I'm like, what's going on? What you talking about? He was like, yeah, man, I need the rest of the money, man, or I'm gonna need to get the car back. And I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean you need to get the car back? I've already paid you $3,000. We're down to the last $500. There's no way you're getting the car back. And the deal was, pay you when I get paid. So we have literally 1 more week before I got my paycheck, so I can give you that last installment. He was like, nah, man, nah, woo, woo, woo. And he was like, this is when he told me he was there. He said, well, I'm outside right now. He said, well, you're not going to be able to drive it because I put a club on the car. Man, I ain't even gonna lie, man. I was nervous. I was scared. Like I said, he was an older guy, so had to call some reinforcement, if you know what I mean. I ain't gonna put no names out there, but so, you know, the homies was there. I did call my uncle, you know, he remembered this. He showed up. I actually called the police too, because like I said, I was young, man. I didn't really know. We weren't about to get into no fight with this dude, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know what to expect because he showed up in my house. I don't even know how he got my address. But then again, like I said, where I stayed at, the car was parked outside, so it probably didn't take much for him to find it. You know what I'm saying? Driving down Lamar, even though he didn't know I stayed on Lamar, I have no idea. So the cops show up, and the cops, you know, they trying to figure out what's going on. I told him, you know, he came over and put a club on my car, this, that, and the other. And the cops were like, well, whose car is it? I said, well, I'm buying it from him. You know, and I owe him $500 or $400, whatever it was. I owe him one more payment. And the cops was like, well, who has the title to the vehicle? He had the title right there. Actually, he didn't even show it, but he's, you know, he said he had it. And I told him, I said, well, he still has it. You know, I haven't got possession of the title yet. So the cops was like, well, what needs to be done to, you know, to solve the situation? And I said, well, I owe him $400 or $500, so I just need to pay him, and then, you know, he'll give me the title. I said, but I wasn't supposed to give him that last payment until next week. You know what I'm saying? He showed up today, and how he did it was, and I remember my uncle telling me I should have replaced the alarm because he didn't have a key. I'm assuming he didn't have a key, but he had a key fob. He had the remote to the alarm, because otherwise, if he had a key, he could have just took the car. So he unlocked the door, put a club on the steering wheel, and then, you know, that's when he had called me or whatever. So cops was like, well, y'all need to rectify the situation. We don't want to have to come back. So I called up J-Dub. Once again, man, you always came to my rescue, man. J-Dub, man, love you for life, boy. So I called up J-Dub. You know, wasn't nothing, 500. I get you next week, no big deal. I told him what was going on. Of course, he was mad. Everybody was mad. We really was ready to, you know, I ain't gonna get into details on that, but so I went and got the money, and the cops was like, all right, you go get the money, he gonna go get the title, we don't wanna have to come back out here. So that's what I did. I went and got the money, and when I got back to Arlington, I called him, let him know, hey, I'm back, you know, what can we meet? And he had put his wife on the phone, and that's when I realized he was, you know, he pulled a scam on me, because his wife was cursing me out, talking about my husband gave you the cars because you didn't have no ride, you haven't given him any money, you haven't paid us, we want our car back. And I was like, you know, I didn't want to be disrespectful to, you know, to the lady, you know, older woman, and, you know, I was just like, ma'am, I don't know what you're talking about. I gave him $2,000 the day I took the car, you know, and I paid him $500 twice. So we agreed on $3,500, so I was down to the last pay. You know, I told her the whole spiel. She wasn't trying to hit none of that, man. She was going off on me. So when he got back on the phone, I told him, he was like, man, I'm not coming back to Arlington. You call the cops. You got your people out there. I'm not coming back out there. He said, man, I just want my car back. And mind you, like I said, he had the title. There was nothing I can do at that moment. It's like, what am I gonna do? If I can't get the title from this man, he really can get the car anytime he want, you know? So, I mean, I talked to my aunt, my mom, and everybody, so they were just like, I remember Aunt Avis, man. I was kind of mad, but she told me, no, it was Avis or Connie, one of y'all told me, you gonna have to chalk it up as a lesson well learned. I'll never forget that. I was mad as heck for them telling me that, but it was the truth. I had to chalk it up. And, you know, talking to Avis, I think she had said something about, you know, taking them to small claims court. Like, so I can't remember if it was Avis or Aunt Connie, but we were talking about small claims court. But I was like, you know, I gave him $3,000. So we thinking, is it worth going to court over? Whatever, man. Bottom line is, we actually were able to get the club off. You know what I'm saying? But I still needed the title to that car. I'm sitting here with the money. He didn't want to finish the deal. So what we ended up doing was, we just took the car, parked it over there in Cowboys, over there off of 360 and Abrams. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And I just parked it. I put the keys under the floor mat. I texted him, let him know where the car was. I said, man, you can go get your car. You know what I'm saying? I'm done. I don't want to deal with you no more. So I was out of $3,000. Out of $3,000. I don't know what happened. The phone got hot. But so yeah, so I was upset, you know. But like I say, I pretty much I had no choice. So I chalked it up to a lesson well learned, gave the car back, and I was without a car for, I don't know. Avis, I remember you had to come pick me up at work. Luckily, the good thing is we worked together. So when I was without a vehicle, she offered to, come pick me up and take me to work. Because actually, Slim, if you remember, also, this was right when, I can't even, how you gonna pull in? This was, hold on, man, somebody calling me, y'all. Hold on. All right, my bad, y'all. I done made it to the house. That was my cousin, Brian, calling me from Arkansas, wish me happy birthday. But Slim, if you remember, this was the same time where your car had got stolen. Remember the Tahoe? It got stolen from Six Flags. So neither one of us had a ride, man. So at one point, Avis would take me to work, and then I think we had ended up getting the blue Camry from your mom. Shout out to moms. But we went through some shit, bro. But, we persevered. We got through it. You know what I'm saying? We made it a long way. Like I said, we was kids, man. We was 24, 25 years old, living life, learning lessons the hard way. Like Annie told me, she said, lesson well learned. And to this day, I'm so thorough with transactions like that. You'll never get over on me on anything like that again. But so I just want to tell y'all my story. What's this part 3? So yeah, man. And that was in 2005. 2021. The Monte Carlo that I'm working on right now, I bought in 2016, 2015, somewhere around there. So literally 10 years later, between the time I went through all that and then me getting another one. And I always told myself I was gonna get another one and I was gonna do it the way I wanted, fix it up or whatever. Because when I had those before, those were daily drivers, so I didn't really have time nor the money to really spend on it, making it look the way I wanted. I just drove it to work and admired it and loved it. Now, this is my daily driver right here. So I got that thing in the garage and I can do whatever I want and don't have to worry about downtime on it. And that's really why I'm taking my time. I know a lot of guys, they put their cars together, in a couple of months. But, hey, if they got bread like that and they got that kind of time, that's what's up. I don't, so I'm not going to pretend that I do. But when it's done, trust me. Matter of fact, I was just on the phone with Brian. He told me, man, you need to take it out to the lake and do a drive-by video at the lake. And I live right here by Lynn Creek, so I don't know why I haven't done that yet. So I'll probably do that soon, but I'm probably going to wait until I get the brakes and all that stuff put on with the QA1s. And I want some wheels on it. I really want some nice wheels on it before I really do a lot of driving videos, So, but anyway, y'all, thank you so much for hanging in there with me, part 3. If I get any more stories coming, I got so much, man. But if anything pops up, man, I will definitely share it with y'all. So just stay tuned. Thank you again for rocking with your boy, Penny LS1. We out. Oh, I did the wrong hand one. Marvin gonna get me. Penny LS1. We out.